Hello, and welcome to my channel, guys! Today we're gonna be talking about some Call of Duty stuff. It's gonna be wacky! No, but in all seriousness, I want to talk about a tweet that Nadeshot did, and I've done this like maybe twice before on my channel, so let me pull it up here. Nadeshot tweeted to Sledgehammer Games, please consider removing Flinch from Call of Duty. All it does is add inconsistency to the game. It has no place in FPS. Nadeshot, come on, man. It has no place in first-person shooters? You're wrong, but let's actually first talk about why you're right. See, the thing about Flinch in first-person shooters is that if there's too much of it, if there is too much Flinch, it creates a first-shot meta, where players don't want to be aggressive because the person camping or watching a lane or watching a doorway, as soon as they land a shot, they bounce your sights so far up in the air that you cannot win the gunfight. So with too much Flinch, it becomes about who lands the first shot, not about who's the most accurate, because each shot you hit that player with, you're removing their accuracy. So one point to you, Nadeshot, I actually thought about this while playing some Battlefield games, playing Black Ops 3, playing Call of Duty Ghosts without the focus perk on, and Titanfall. I think about Flinch, and I think, if there's too much, then I have to land my first shot, otherwise gunfight's not going to be mine, unless the other person's absolutely terrible. But what happens when there's no Flinch? Nadeshot, this is where I disagree with you, man. This has bothered me. Good Call of Duty players usually have complaints that fall along the lines of, this is too inconsistent. And what they're saying is, I don't get to people every game. Nadeshot also complained about wall running in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare because people could flank him. Now I do agree, Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare have a problem where you're constantly getting shot in the back and people are always seeming to be in my blind spot in those games. Hey, maybe me and Nadeshot have the same problem where we're bad at that same exact thing. Wouldn't that be fun? But Nadeshot, when someone like you with your skill level says, I wish there would be no Flinch, okay? Please get rid of Flinch. I just picture someone as good as Nadeshot just fucking aiming down a hallway at 3 people and just mowing them down relentlessly with an assault rifle or an SMG or an LMG or something. Them getting hit, right? And it not affecting them. So one of the 3 guys that comes down the hallway hits him, but there's no Flinch. So he was properly set up and he gets all the kills. There's no Flinch. If someone's shooting your buddy and then you shoot the guy shooting your buddy, you won't be able to save your buddy because you're not going to knock that guy off target. Now, as somebody that plays a wide variety of first-person shooters, from Milsims to Battlefield to Call of Duty to Doom, and back around to Titanfall and some Halo, and okay, you know, you fucking get it. I'm not really even bragging at this point. It's becoming a little bit sad. But either way, someone that plays all those games, yeah, some of them need more or less Flinch. There's a little bit more nuance than it has no place in first-person shooters. Nadeshot, I'm sorry, but you and your type, your type of Call of Duty player are the kind of people to get into a game, have some sort of minor frustration where you got knocked off a streak, or you lost a gunfight to a noob because of Flinch, or because he wall ran, or because he used a sniper and the snipers have aim assist, and you're like, that needs to go. That throws me off. That creates an inconsistency. God forbid, Nadeshot, that someone can throw someone as good as you off target by a couple of millimeters because they hit you. Remove Flinch? I love how drastic this tweet is. I'm going to pull it up again while I'm talking here. Please consider removing Flinch. All it does is add inconsistency. It has no place in first-person shooters. How ridiculously fucking dramatic is this? Remove it. All it does is add inconsistency and it has no place. It doesn't add inconsistency. It adds a means in which you can be countered. That's why you're going to want to use cover. See, it'd be really fun, Nadeshot, because of how accurate you are, if you ran up on a noob, right? A noob, and they shot you, and then you started to shoot them. You're a better shot, but you flinched a little bit, and you didn't get the kill. Now, as much as I have played games where there's too much Flinch, I don't think I've played that many shooters where you couldn't counter Flinch by just being a better shot, by quickly adjusting your aim. But I'm sorry, all it sounds like is Nadeshot just doesn't like the fact that sometimes people can land a shot on him and give him a disadvantage. To pub stompers and pro players, when they say inconsistency, what they mean is thing that can kill me. One of the things I was actually excited about, and I put a little bit too much excitement into it and it ended up biting me in the ass, and it's one of my least favorite things about that game now, is the specialist abilities in Black Ops 3. Because in my mind, when I heard about the gravity spikes and the hive launcher, and if you've never played the game, these won't make any sense to you, but when I thought about all these specialist weapons that are basically just insta-kills, I didn't think I'm gonna get fucked over. I thought the kids that play the game, the noobs that play the game, the average Joes, the casuals, when they go on and they run into people like Nadeshot, and they run into people like Exclusive Ace, they run into people that are really extremely good, they have a fighting chance. They can break out of their spawn. They can knock a really good player off their streak with these things. And after playing Advanced Warfare, where you were basically either spawn trapping or being spawn trapped, I like the idea that in a little bit you'll have a weapon that will charge, and if you use it properly, you can give your team an advantage. Now, I'm not saying every video game needs to have something in there so the noobs can kill the pros. I'm just saying, Nadeshot, removing Flinch, it has no place, all it does is add inconsistency. That's fucking ridiculous. Maybe tone it down, maybe have it so that at certain ranges there's less flinch when you get hit. Maybe you only flinch after you get shot twice. You know, there's a little bit more nuance than please remove it. Can you guys imagine snipers in Call of Duty with no flinch? I mean, absolutely zero flinch. I mean, we already had that problem a little bit with Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, and actually Call of Duty Ghosts for that matter. But, I mean, seriously, can you imagine knowing there's a sniper looking at you, you hitting him, and his screen just barely shakes and he gets to fucking fuck you up? Oh, man. So let's look at the next Call of Duty YouTuber tweet, and this is from Tmartn. He says, I love, and he's talking about Call of Duty World War II, I love that spawn trapping is actually a thing again because enemies can't fly over walls and drop down on you. Alright, okay. I love it when everybody describes the fucking thruster packs in Infinite Warfare. They never use words like momentum or flanking. I think Nadeshot did use the words flanking, and in fact I talked about that earlier in the video. But it's always so dramatic. Fly over walls and drop down on you. Fuck, man, like, I don't know. It's just so fun. It's when they call it jetpacks. I love it when people call it jetpacks or flying. Yeah, no, I couldn't trap anybody in their spawn. I couldn't kill anybody because they were flying over walls on top of me. Can somebody name a map where a wall that they can jump over and land on top of you is a thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into his wording, but I know what he means. Basically, because of the movement and the style, you know, it's easier to spawn trap. Okay. This concerns me. This is kind of falls in line with what I was talking about with Nadeshot. Players that are good at Call of Duty, especially the big YouTubers, they have this thing where they don't like to lose, they don't like to be challenged, and they don't like inconsistencies. They think, well, I'm good, they're not, so I should just be able to destroy them all game. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't flinch when I was shot, is what Nadeshot's saying when he says remove flinch. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't flinch? And when Tmartn's saying I'm glad spawn trapping's back, it means when I roll up into a game with a couple of my friends, I'm glad we can make the enemy team completely miserable by stomping them into one corner of the map while we rain score streaks down on them and get gameplay for our Call of Duty news videos. Spawn trapping isn't a good thing. See, one of the things I loved about Exclusive Ace, I think I've talked about him 2 videos in a row now. One of the things I liked about Exclusive Ace is he didn't like the idea of spawn trapping, he liked the idea of securing map control. Controlling the map and the power positions and holding key areas so that you can win the game easier is a good thing. That's a skill gap, you know? If your team can do that, it deserves to have a huge advantage or even just deserves to win. And in Advanced Movement Call of Duties, it made it a lot harder to get map control because Call of Duty developers also decided to shrink the size of the maps. So you have fast movement in small maps, so you kill somebody right in front of you, and they're going to be a problem again in 20 seconds if you're playing game modes like Team Deathmatch, Domination, or Hardpoint. So securing map control has been hard over the last 3 Call of Duties. But do you know what Call of Duty didn't have difficulty, that I didn't have difficulty at least, getting map control in? That was Call of Duty Ghosts. I never spawn trapped people in Call of Duty Ghosts, but I controlled the map. I manipulated the spawns with my team. We didn't trap people in their spawn. So maybe I'm getting on Tmartn here for his wording, but spawn trapping is a problem. It creates unwinnable situations for teams, and it's usually not their fault. Sometimes it's not their fault that they're playing by themselves. It's usually not anybody's fault. It's not a fault. Sometimes people play by themselves, and they have 5 other people that aren't communicating. So when you have 1 or 2 or 3 good players on your team that you can communicate with, God forbid you have a full team you can communicate with, you just get to destroy them all game. Because the spawns stick too much, because they can't move. They can't play anymore. I'm just picturing some poor guy respawning, moving up, killing 1 guy, killing 2 guys, gets killed, spawns back there, moves forward, dies, spawns, gets a kill, dies, spawn, gets a kill, dies. I just picture that, and then the person on the team that's doing the spawn trapping is like Tmartn. He's like, wow, I'm glad this is back. This is so much easier. I've said this before. Boots on ground Call of Duty is one of my favorite things. Like, I prefer boots on ground Call of Duty. But not for the same reason a lot of YouTubers and pub stompers and pro players do. They like boots on ground Call of Duty because it's more consistent, it's more predictable, and it's easier because of the style of Call of Duty to smush people into the ground. I made a video about that years ago called bullying-oriented gameplay, and how some Call of Duty titles, for instance Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 actually, I think about it, really cater to you squishing people into the map. Now, one of the games I've never had that problem in is Call of Duty Ghost, and then also Black Ops 1. And although spawn trapping could happen in Call of Duty 4, it didn't happen as much as in these other Call of Duties that these YouTubers love to praise. So what's the takeaway from this video? I don't know, it's mostly just for entertainment, but I mostly am just a little frustrated, I guess, when I see YouTubers that, you know, they're good at the game, they're solid, you know, they've earned their stripes. I mean, a lot of people like to say Call of Duty takes no skill, but you can tell when someone knows what they're doing compared to when they don't. It is a stark difference. I don't like hearing things like, remove Flinch from Call of Duty. I don't like hearing things like, I'm glad spawn trapping's back. Because I'm a good player. I can kick ass in Call of Duty. I really can, I promise. But maps and movement that cater to me just getting pinned in my spawn for a whole game, or even just a second round or a quarter of the game, that's a bad thing. Spawns should rotate in a way that's healthy and not frustrating to the team that's doing well. I shouldn't spawn behind the person that kills me every time, but I shouldn't spawn into enemy fire. I shouldn't spawn at a disadvantage because one dude has 5 friends and all of my friends are asleep, so I guess I just don't get to have fun this match. But yet, they deserve to have an advantage, so you get where my problem is here. So, let's recap this video really quickly. Too much flinch is a bad thing. No flinch is also a bad thing. Controlling the map and having a good team should reward you. Spawn trapping people is not a good thing, so Nadeshot, Tmartn, come on, you're killing me here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of content. I would love to do it. If I made content about shitty tweets I see about Call of Duty or Battlefield and stuff, I'd have endless amounts of video ideas. So let me know if you like this style of content. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye!
Seigneur, Seigneur, car avec les soldats, il est toreros, peuvent s'entendre, pour plaisir, ils ont les combats, le cirque est plein ce jour de fête, le cirque est plein.